Hey everybody, this is Frill. Welcome back to Extended Timeline World War II. We are now up to July of 2025, and in the last episode we had a war between Albania and Serbia here. Albania was allied with the Romanians and Hungary. The Serbians were allied with the Polish, and the Albanians obviously won that war, taking over quite a bit of Serbia. The Hungarians took a province from Serbia, and the Romanians took a province from Poland. Over in the east, we had another war between the Chinese and the Japanese, and the Chinese were finally able to take over all of Taiwan here. You'll notice that there are still quite a few Japanese units that are exiled here in Taiwan. The Chinese were also able to take over parts of northern Korea here. The Japanese still hold most of the Korean peninsula, though. Over in Central America, we had a war between Peru and the Panamanians. The Peruvians were able to take back control of the Panama Canal. And down in South America, we had, in previous episodes, we had a war between Brazil and Argentina, and the Brazilians had released Uruguay and Paraguay. Now, in the last couple episodes, Argentina took back Uruguay, and now they took back Paraguay in the last episode. Let's have a look at the armies of the world. We have the Chinese, followed by the US, the Soviet Union, Germany, and Italy. I'll note that the Italians are completely out of manpower, and the British have a very small army at this point compared to previous episodes. The British Nigerians, pretty good size army, and we also even have the Cape Colony with a pretty good size army. They're completely out of manpower, though. Now that goes into what the wars that are going on. We have a British-Nigerian war for independence, bunch of Commonwealth, I think all of them against the British and a couple of their allies, including Thailand and like the Congo. We have American change form of government against Japan. We have a Cameroonian Portuguese imperialist war. This is Cameroon with Mali and Guinea against Portugal and Spain. And we've got a French-Haitian imperialist war, so the French are trying to take what is left of the Haitians there. So let's get this going ahead. We've got, I'm thinking that the Americans will probably be wanting to take some territory here from the Japanese in the Philippines here. We do have the Americans without any armies or any leaders sieging out parts of Hokkaido. I'm thinking that the Soviets are probably going to be declaring war against the Japanese once again to take a few more islands here from Japan. Now, the Commonwealth nations are all sieging out parts of what is British India here, moving into Bangladesh and probably Burma as this goes on. I do think this is probably the best shot that the Commonwealth nations have had for gaining their independence from their British overlords in this series so far. They've had a lot of failures trying to gain their independence so far in this series. I mean, it's 2025 and they haven't gained their independence. So let's quickly have a look at what's going on in between Cameroon here. So we've got Cameroon, Mali, and Guinea against Spanish West Africa. I think that the Cameroon has sieged out everything in Spanish West Africa. Syria used to be part of Mauritania, but the Spanish took it back from them. And the Spanish do have, pretty good size army. But I think that, look at this. We've got like 50k and almost 100k. I don't think the Spanish can do anything about this. I think that I'd be curious who actually gains territory here between Cameroon and Mali and all that. Or maybe somebody gains their independence. Do have like British Nigeria. We've got the Gold Coast. All these nations that are at war for their independence against the British here. Quickly having a look back. Like I said, in Burma and Bangladesh, they're starting to siege out. The Iranians are on the side of the Commonwealth nations. Okay, we've got a couple new wars. We've got a Chinese change of form of government in Tibet. Also fired off, so, that's the second time the Chinese have waged a war against Tibet. I'm thinking that they're probably going to finish them off. Maybe they'll leave one province, but that's not going to be around for very much longer, I would say. And it looks like things are going very well for these Commonwealth nations. French-Haitian imperialist war is apparently going very well for the French. Sure, if that's just a siege that's going, or no siege, but just a blockade probably with the French here. And okay, they've got their main stack is going to take over. See, the Americans not using their leaders. They've even got a army with a leader in Puerto Rico, but they don't end up using it anyplace else. So yeah, that's a juggernaut there between, they had like a 10k and they're against 1 million in Tibet. That's no chance whatsoever for them. So we will see. The French are going to establish some territory there, and I think it was basically the Bahamas there. And the Americans have sieged out here in the Philippines, and they're sieging out a bunch of territory in the mainland Japan as well. Although, I mean, the Japanese do have at least a 2-star general here. The Americans have no leader on their armies, as we've discussed. Yeah, and this war between China and Tibet just ended really quickly, and you can see Tibet is still around, but they took a large chunk of Tibet, leaving them like with what? Oh, they've still got 5 provinces, but not for much longer, I would guess. Let's check out what's going on in Cameroon here. Yeah, not going to be much, since the Spanish and the Portuguese are not going to move any of their armies down here. I mean, Cameroon even has a pretty decent sized fleet. Guinea does as well, with a pretty good admiral. British large fleet there, but they are not going to do very much about that. Okay, we've got the American war has ended. The Americans, okay, they only took 1 province from the Philippines here, or from the Japanese in the Philippines here, so at least the Japanese, for their sake, can probably move their troops back over to Japan and start rebuilding their armies for their next attack. They have no allies, so people are constantly at war with them. And I guess the main thing we've got going on is that Commonwealth. We'll see if they can finally gain their independence. I guess it's all happening in India here, in Bangladesh, and Burma is where the Commonwealth independence will occur. I'm guessing. I think this is the time. Finally, and I guess it's 2027 they might gain their independence. Let's see here, we've got... Can't really do too much more. I mean, Cameroon's just holding on to this territory. Sieged it all out. Did they maybe... It looks like the Spanish were actually in a battle of some sort. Did maybe one of those West African nations actually move their fleet, some of their troops up there? Looks like they lost, but they did make the Spanish have to rebuild a little bit there. Yeah, they're just sitting on their armies here. What's going on, even though they're at war? Quickly looking over in India, this is all being sieged out. We've got a couple of wars that have gone off. We have a French-British imperialist war, the French with Ireland, with the Soviet Union and the Antilles against quite a few allies of the British here. Okay, so they've actually got... They'll have some of this in Africa as well. Okay, we've got a change of another second American change form of government in the Netherlands. The Netherlands are allied with Peru and Vietnam. That will be, like I said, the second time that they've done that. I would assume that the Americans are probably going for this island here in the Netherlands or the island here in the Indonesia that the Netherlands are holding on to. Yeah, I would assume that's what they're going to do. And they're going to easily be able to take that, assuming they can island hop around. So yeah, let's quickly look at what's going on between the French here and the British. I'm surprised that the Soviets, they were allied with the British for almost the entire series. A lot of wars taking place where they were allied together, but looks like the British Nigeria is actually sieged here in Cornwall. Americans have some exiled army there as well, because I don't think they're in any sort of wars either. Going very well for the Commonwealth nations. Kind of hoping that will end shortly. But, yeah. Go back to India where all this sieging is taking place. Thailand is trying to put up as much of a fight as they can, but that's all for naught, I would say. Americans have sieged out all of this area in Indonesia. The Netherlands do have an army that they've moved over to the Philippines, so they're... Now it looks like they had to actually move their army there. There's not like a strait or anything here. Never know with Paradox whether there'll be a strait somewhere that you wouldn't expect it. Actually, let's quickly look over here in Europe to see... Yes, so the Irish are probably not going to have a very good shot at the British here. So hopefully they'll get some help, since they are in the British Isles. The French not moving anything. This might be mostly taking place in... Okay, we've actually got... Okay. I thought maybe that war had ended between the British and the Commonwealth nations, but no, it has not. But yeah, that French war will probably... Yeah, here we go. The French are sieging out in Angola here, since Angola is an ally of the British there. Okay, we've got... I think we've got... No, we don't have anything. I thought that that war had ended again, but we have a Kochi Vendi, or Venati, sorry, nationalist wars fired off, just looking at the war scores here. So French-British imperialist war not going very well for the French, because we've got some different occupations. I'm surprised that the Cameroonians have sieged out all of this area in the Spanish West Africa, but they can't finish it off because of, they need to move their actual army into Spain or Portugal. But that's not going to happen, I don't think. But yeah, I'm expecting at any minute this war in the Commonwealth maybe to end, because that'll be big. We've got... Oh yes, because of the Thai are allied with the French, or with the British, so they're sieging out areas in French Indochina from the... Okay, but we've got the Soviets are, since they're allied with the French, they're going to be taking out large areas here in Thailand. Yeah, they'll completely destroy everything that the Thai army has. And they'll probably be able to siege out in India here. That's already mostly sieged out by the Commonwealth nations. The British are going to be losing out here, I think. Although, I mean, the war score is not positive, but isn't even positive for the... Okay, yeah. It's not even positive for the Americans against the Netherlands. I'm not sure why that would be, though. I guess we can find out. We've got... I guess they haven't... Yeah, weird. It's those provinces that they've sieged out are not worth very much war score. Not sure what the best place to look right now. Surprised that the British are not re-sieging back Cornwall that the British Nigerians took. Wow, India's really sieged out. We've got... Afghanistan's very small. I didn't notice that before. We've got the Congo sieging parts of the of the Soviet Union here. All right. See if the Americans can actually move to any of these other islands in the Netherlands here. It doesn't look like it. Netherlands just sitting there with... They do have a 3-star general, so that's pretty good. We've got an Egyptian-Saudi Arabian imperialist war. This is the Egypt allied with the Turks against the Saudis. Okay, that might be a good war to look at. Let's see what's going on there. The Egyptians did lose quite a bit of territory there from the Italians. So yeah, the Turks, very large army. They always have a very large army. Saudis, not a large army. I don't know where they have the main stack's 22k. I think they probably usually can have about 40 to 50k, but I think they're gonna lose this war. It does look like this Commonwealth war has just ended. We've got... I'm not sure if these have correctly changed their names yet, but yeah, the British have lost all of their colonies, it looks like. Yeah, it'll take a moment, I think, for these to correctly name themselves. Some of them have. We've got... Yeah, I don't think... We've got Nigeria. We've got Sudan, since those are actually completely new. We've got Botswana. We've got Zambia. We've got Kenya. Let's say we had Ghana. We have Nigeria, we have Niger. Okay. Let's have a look over in Australia. We've got Australia, we've got New Zealand, and we've also got a New Zealander Indonesia here. Okay. That works for me. So that war just ended. So the Commonwealth nations are finally gained their independence. If there's anything else out there that may be a nation that I'm missing, let me know in the comments. But it looks like that's what... We've got British Somaliland here. That it also gained its independence, but it doesn't have a correct name, so that's what we're going to call it. It's British Somaliland. We've got the Egyptians with the Turks sieging here in Saudi Arabia. We'll see what the Egyptians really need some land right now. It'd be good if they can take some of this from the Saudis. Quickly look what's going on between this Cameroon. It's just Cameroon. Nobody's joined it or anything like that. Yes, Saudi wars, or Egyptian Saudi wars, going very positive for the... Yeah, it just ended. Not very much taken at all, just to one province there. But they actually here, that's they gave back land to Iraq here, so that'll be popular with the Iraqis will be very happy with the Turks and the Egyptians here for giving them that land. So yeah, push down the Saudis in size a little bit. Getting a big slowdown there for a moment. Got another slowdown here. What have we got going on that's slowing us down? Nothing that's really should be slowing down. Let's see where this French-British war is actually kind of being fought. I mean, the French do... The British have a very small army at this point. I think it was like 80k, and we see a 43k, 69k. They don't have help from any other Commonwealth anymore. Just have help. I think so. A lot of these pieced out. Congo, Saudi Arabia, obviously that's not very good. Mozambique still allied with them. They do have all of this territory in India, though, that the Soviets and the French are going to be able to siege out, it looks like, since they have connections there. Just quickly checking to make sure I didn't miss another war that had ended. Not seeing any good battles going on, though. We've got the Soviets here in what is called British Indochina, sieging out territory. We've got the French occupying parts of Congo. So it does look like we're out of time for this episode. I hope you enjoyed this one, and please consider hitting the like button if you did, as it really helps out the channel, and I'll see you guys next time.